Hey guys, welcome to another Your Tech Report video. Today we're going hands-on with a device that may look a little bit familiar, but I promise you it is anything but familiar. This is the LG G7 One. So what is the LG G7 One? The LG G7 One is a pure Android experience, a pure Android version of the LG G7 ThinQ. Remember the LG G7 ThinQ? Well, we went hands-on with the LG G7 ThinQ, and to date, it's still one of our favorite phones, Android phones, that are on the market. So the LG G7 One is the equivalent, except none of that bloatware, none of that LG branding or skin. It is a pure Android Oreo 8.1 experience. Much like the Google Pixel, when you turn this device on, you get nothing but pure Android. This is a big thing among people who use Android phones. If you're one of those people that are struggling in the iOS experience or still looking for a good deal on an Android phone, the Android One from LG is actually one of the most cost-effective devices on the market that has flagship specs across the board. Let's remind you what the specs are on this device, okay? You've got a Qualcomm 835 Snapdragon processor, you've got 4 gigs of RAM, you've got 32 gigs of storage on board this device. You've got the boombox speaker. Remember the boombox speaker? That's when you're playing any audio. It uses the internal space on this device to actually amplify the sound to the point that you feel it in your bones. You feel it in your hands, you feel the phone vibrating. Obviously it doesn't affect anything, but it gives you true high quality sound. Now let's not forget there's a quad HD digital audio converter that's in this device, so when you're listening to things on headphones, you're getting impeccable sound. And I'm talking about really quite impressive sound when you compare it to any other device on the market. The quad DAC on this, and of course the G7 ThinQ, really does blow the audio experience out of the water. So let's talk about specs on this device for a second. So here we've got the LG G7 ThinQ, here we've got the LG G7 One. You've got that same 6.1-inch diagonal display. It's a QHD display on the Android One experience. You've got IP68 water and dust proofing, same thing as the LG G7 ThinQ. No wireless charging, which is one of the drawbacks of the Android One versus the G7 ThinQ, but of course you're benefiting from a lower price and that pure Android experience. Now remember that AI cam that came out in the LG V30? This is that camera that uses AI technology to identify what you're taking a photograph of, and it adjusts the settings accordingly. Well, that is on board this G7 One. You've got all the latest Wi-Fi modems, you've got all the latest LTE connectivity, you've got a nice matte kind of, it's almost like a grayish design on the back here. If you take a look at this here, you've got that gray kind of matte design, which actually is quite nice because it repels fingerprints. Now, I talked about the fact that this does have Android 8.1 Oreo. Well, this will, in fact, be upgradable because it's a pure Android experience to Android Pie. So don't worry about that. They're saying that it's going to be available in 2018. Let's talk about cameras because everybody wants to know about cameras when it comes to smartphones. On the back of this device, you've got a 16-megapixel wide-angle camera. It's got an aperture of 1.6 and a 71-degree angle. So you got a nice wide field of view when it comes to the camera. A built-in flash there as well and a fingerprint sensor, as you can see. On the front, you've got that same 8-megapixel camera on the front. It's wide angle, an aperture of 1.9 with an 80-degree angle, so you're going to get really, really cool selfies on the front of that device as well. Yes, it has a notch, by the way, when you're looking at the device. It's physically in your hands. Other than the fact that I have a case here so I can identify the two devices, it feels exactly the same as the LG G7 ThinQ. So really, to the eye, you're not going to notice a difference other than the fact that the back has a little bit of a different camera and a little bit of different design in terms of the actual feel of the device. 3000 milliamp battery, so you're going to get pretty much all-day battery depending on what you're doing on this device. Same battery that's in the LG G7 ThinQ, plus a whole lot more on this LG Android device. How much is this device? Well, it depends on your carrier and your plan, so I highly recommend you go to LG.com, check out the Android One. Depending on your carrier, there's going to be subsidies. I've seen this as low as $0 on some plans. I've seen it as high as about $750. So in terms of the high-end smartphone range, it's not as high-end of those $1,000 plus phones, but it's not as low-end as those $249 phones, but you get what you pay for because this is an LG flagship device with that pure Android experience. Can I say pure Android a couple more times? Pure Android experience. Honestly, guys, as a guy who's newly converted to Android, I used to be on iOS, and I'm playing more and more with Android devices, and I really, really fell in love with it when it came to the Pixel 3. The pure Android experience, I'll say it again, pure Android experience is quite nice. You don't have any of that bloat. It seems really, really snappy. It's fast to use. The camera is quite quick. The AI cam is very quick to identify the subjects in which you're taking a picture of. Overall, it's a great device. It has a great feel in your hands. Obviously, you want to slap a case on there. I always slap a case on. The first thing I do is I slap a case on my devices to make sure it's protected. But this really is quite a great phone. It is limited availability as of the 19th of October, so it's only been out for a couple days now. It started out with a release in Canada. It will, of course, be released in the United States as well, plus other markets. So it's the LG G7 One. Pure Android, pure Android. How many times can I say that in one video? 1, 2, 3. We'll count that later. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed. Just hit that subscribe button right down there. And you know what? If you've got anything to say to us, we love your comments. Let us know. There's a comment section below. Use it. Hi, Mark. I like your review. Stuff like that. Anyhow, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next video.